Morning coffee thoughts. So I'm sitting here on this rainy day. I just saw a really fascinating post by a man. I think his name is Rising with Malcolm. And he's calling up men to heal their wound with the feminine so they can actually call in the healthy relationships that they want. So what I'm noticing is there's such a hatred and mistrust of the sexes. So I speak to a lot of people, and I think one of the big problems is that on one side you have females going, oh, I hate men, I don't trust men, fuck men. Okay, so then they're taking that as their foundation, their belief systems, their inner feelings, like that's how they feel. But then they want like a Bridgerton type of love, and you cannot attract that from that foundation. And we all understand how the world is. We've seen, there's reasons why both sides feel this way. But I also see this from men, like there's such a deep lack of respect, mostly from men that have like a mother wound where they grew up not trusting women. I speak to a lot of men like this as well, where they just like their moms hurt them so badly as kids, and as adults they don't trust females, so they attract like toxic women, and then they kind of go on this whole thing of, even though they might understand it, like they can't get to that point where they can create a safe space for the feminine because they've never felt safe with the feminine. So there's all this wound play that's happening, and I just think it's really unfortunate because I see like, at the core of our being, like we all want to be loved. We all want to be loved. We all want to be accepted, but we have these pains from our past that are really responsible for the experiences that we're calling in and for the experiences that we can even allow ourselves to have with somebody. So I was thinking about that this morning, and I think it's time for us to take radical responsibility for healing our wounds, and also to sort of repair how we feel about the opposite sex. And I know it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do. But I just see a lot of unhappy people, and they want something, but they just can't make the leap to get to like the foundation of where they're operating from, like in order to attract that in. So just lastly, I want to just touch on something, because I think this is what people stay in the loop with. So for example, say you're a woman, your dad was avoidant, or perhaps he was just not present in your life at all. Like he just abandoned the family. Just take that as an example. That's what happened with me. So that's why I'm using that one. And so as an adult, you're going into the world going, oh, like I can't trust men. I can't rely on men. Men aren't safe. Men are even potentially dangerous. So when I was, like in my early 20s, like that's what I attracted. I attracted men that reinforced that belief system. But at that time, I wasn't aware that I even had that belief system. And a lot of us aren't even aware of what our belief systems are. So it kind of keeps us in this loop. And then it's like, oh, so I want this, but then I'm operating here. So we need to make that leap and start healing those wounds. And I was gonna make this a quick video, but I don't like to leave without action steps, because then it's leaving you like, oh, well, how do I actually do that? So what I started doing, I started reading books. There's some really good books. I'll drop them in the below. That will just really shift your perspective and start you healing. Like it's really about self-investment. I started investing in myself, and I started committing to what I actually wanted, because I didn't want to believe that about men anymore. Like once I became aware of the story, I stopped living the story as much. Like I could see what I was attracting, and I sort of stepped back from it, and I was like, wow, okay, I don't want that though anymore. Like that's not what I want in my reality. I don't want those belief systems being the like casting, like the fish, like that's what you're casting out, and that's what you're pulling back to you. It's like what you're saying you believe, it's like poof, that's what appears. So you have to sort of rewire yourself. I did do a hypnosis meditation, which was really powerful. And I started saying affirmations too. I started saying very specific affirmations that help me rewire my belief systems. If you're interested in something like that, just direct message me or send me affirmations below, because I can actually send what I started with. So those 3 things. So I'll drop those below. Okay, that is all. Cheers.